guys? It's me, Mr. B. The Premier League is back. It's still got 48 hours, but we can talk about something that we can all feel is beneficial to us. I know Monday likes any form of football, but if you like me and bath time, then think international sucks. Then look, it's good to be back. Bath time.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I assumed you asked how I was. I've got a massive headache, and I haven't. It's so bad. I haven't even seen the Lord of the Rings TV show yet. Got chills, I'm cold. I know it's. I had to go and see Dr. Vikram after work, so I was worried my brain was going to come out my nostrils or something. But apart from that, I'm pretty good. Happy to be back.
I'm on day. How we doing, man?
Yeah, not a headache, but it's a bit head stress. Questions being asked yesterday. What happened to the show yesterday? It was aired. I did post a show to do, but at last minute I had to cancel. Unfortunately, guys. Yeah, these things happen. Just wasn't prepared technically, or it was too much of a rush. Takes a lot of time and effort to plan these shows, as you guys above me would know. Yeah, so unfortunately we couldn't do a show yesterday. And what do I do for headaches? I rarely get headaches anymore, but I used to get migraines when my eyes would go blurry, and then I knew it was coming on, and I'd have to be in a dark room. I'd feel nauseous and all kind of thing. But what do you do for headaches, bath time? How are you going to manage your headache?
Well, I've taken obviously some paracetamol and all that sort of stuff. When it happened at work, I went to the stationery cupboard for like 10 minutes because I needed somewhere dark. But I'll just get on with it. I'm drugged up. I'm not going to die. You know, we go again. Bounce back ability.
Okay.
Look, well, so I'm glad you're taking it so lightly. I'm glad that you're feeling a lot better, to be fair. But look, can we say a couple of howdies to these people in the chat? DK Wilson, we're going to say hello. I know you see you saying howdy to us. I'm sure on Monday we'll think of somewhere where you've come from. Lucky Singh. Let's have a look. I'll tell you what, you know what you've written and you can see what he's written. But we like to say howdy. Good evening. Yep, there you go. Big up from a Matt as well. We deserve better. We see you. The Lord's show won't help. What's this? What happened yesterday? 1 minute you were, yeah, we just, as I said, on Mondays explain that sometimes shit happens that you can't really get the hold of. Mark Harris, how you doing, man? The best thing is Southampton is to win 4-0. I don't know. Sorry, the best thing is Southampton to win 4-0, get the clueless turnover manager. He should have been sacked after the 7-0. Okay. Well, I'm not hoping for a 4-0 defeat, to be fair, but we'll see, innit? We deserve better. We see ya. And I think that's all the howdies for now.
I
will not wear looser pants. It would be a crime to fashion.
That's a good one. That's a good one, actually.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Right, guys. Obviously, we are back. We have got Southampton, and the first 3 games probably haven't been what we expected or what we have hoped. Maybe the Liverpool one was what we expected, but the performance against Brighton I thought was half decent, and the Fulham game, to be honest, I don't even remember much about the Fulham game. But look,
Zertzi last minute winner.
Oh, of course, yes. So look, a last minute he did a McTominay for us. We need to be dominating games from the get-go, so that's not something that we have to be relying on. Now Scott's not here, I suppose we have to find another super sub half time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very, very important to have players like that in your squad, but I am a little bit concerned about this game against Southampton, mainly because of the travel. Like Ugarte, Martinez, Garnacho, that's a minimum of a 15-hour flight. I don't know if things have changed since my day, but Buenos Aires to Paris was 14 hours, so it'll be 15 hours to London. That's a long, long time. Plus, the 12:30 kickoff after an international break is the one you want to avoid the most. Like, so, I'm not sure about this one. Like, this is like one of the bigger banana skins of the season, because I'm not not completely sure on the geography of this, but Southampton is probably the furthest away ground for us.
Yeah, Bournemouth.
That old Bournemouth.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bournemouth's in Dorset, so it'll be Bournemouth.
No, Dorset's near Southampton. They're in there.
Yeah. Southampton's a bit nearer to.
Is it?
And Dorset's like down. Isn't Dorset down by the foot down near by?
Yeah, I
Cornwall?
thought Bournemouth was on the right, to be honest, not the left.
Yeah,
of
Bournemouth's
the
on the
UK.
right
If
near
you're facing
Southampton.
the UK, if you're facing the UK map, I think Bournemouth would be further west than Southampton. You get
not much.
And, not
West?
not much in it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, we can all agree that it's probably like within the top 2 furthest distances that we got to travel. So that's them going tomorrow night, isn't it? Like they'll have to go down on Friday night, stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
And then it's a 12:30 kickoff. I don't like any of these things. These are all really dangerous. Distance, international break, killer, 12:30 kickoff.
It's interesting, that, isn't it? I think that you're talking about the flights home from South America, yeah. And they're 3 important players. You talk about Garnacho and Ugarte as well. I mean, we're all itching to see Ugarte play, but we don't want him to be rushed back or, be jet lagged or anything like that. We only play him if he's fit to go. A few things that you want to talk about covering international break. I mean, during the international break, people watch 2 or 3 games and then they make opinions based on that. So there's a few outstanding things that stood out to me for the last week or so. His first one would be our centre-back, Delit. He made 2 errors, apparently, for 2 goals against Germany in a 2-2 draw. One, he gave a pass away, and the other one got squared across him. He got a bad deflection on it, and they scored. So now they're saying he's a calamity, and he got subbed by the manager for the Tottenham centre-back. Is it
At half-time?
Yeah. So is it Tottenham centre-back?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So everyone said, oh no, Delit is a calamity guy. He's conceded, responsible for 2 goals conceded. So that's a negative. A positive, which is also a bit laughable for me, is the hype around Angel Gomez. I asked a few people before he was, it's interesting this, I asked a few people before he was even picked for England. I said, what do you think of Angel Gomez? And one guy that I know, I talked to a lot about football, he said, nah, not good enough. Suddenly, he's the best thing since sliced bread, and he's going to make England tick. And Lee Carson was right to put him in the midfield. I had one guy say to me when he's watching the game, he had to like zoom in as he played. He's so small, he's so tiny. But yeah, it's interesting that suddenly he gets an England cap, and now he's like the star boy. And people are saying, why did Man United get rid of him? And we're going to sign him back on the free. It's funny what you see, because we don't watch French football. We didn't watch him in Portugal when he's on loan there. But no one really complained, apart from me. I really complained about him.
This is what this is about.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think it's interesting how people are deprived from football and they watch a couple of games and then they get these contrasting opinions. And the other opinion I'm going to shout out is Xerxes. I've heard people say he's the best link-up forward in years, that sort of thing, just because he had a goal and assist in the game he played for Holland. So it's interesting, the views, news and views from the international break concerning Man United players. Some of it's positive, some of it's negative, and some of it doesn't matter because he doesn't play for us anymore, Angel Gomez. But he is small, but I still think he's a technically good player. You just have to have the right system to get the best out of him to help the team. So, yeah, I miss him, but it's good to see him back and get his cap.
So it's interesting what you say about Deligt, because I've seen those Deligt errors, and the first one, it must have been Bosnia, because it was Edin Dzeko scored. It wasn't great what he did, but you'll see all our centre-backs have been done like that. The other error that I saw against Germany, I have to say, I put 90% of it on Van Dijk. He was bloody dreadful in his positioning. And in Holland, maybe Bart can help me with this. I think that they're not huge fans of Van Dijk, the Dutch, and they certainly are not huge fans of Deligt. I've been told that apparently people turn a little bit if you move out of the Dutch league. Like they, like if when someone sort of moves abroad, they instantly become less good of a player. But I think that Delict's going to be perfectly fine. And I would like to see him and Maguire start, to be honest, at the weekend. I want every Argentine or Uruguayan rested for this game. I think it's too much with the travel and lack of training sessions and so on.
My view's a little bit different from yours, Bath Time. If I'm honest, I want them all playing. I don't see the point of us having these players in our squad. I understand. I have no idea who played international, who didn't play. I don't care about international football. I know Ugarte was. Anybody hear about him talking about being sick before the game?
Yeah.
So
played 90 minutes with a fever.
Yeah. Look, he still played 90 minutes. I mean, it's funny that Bielsa ball, obviously Bielsa, he plays at a certain level. Ugarte hasn't played all season, and we're worried about, or Ten Hag is worried about, whether he's going to start, blah blah blah. If there was no international football, this is, and Bielsa said, I don't care. You're playing 70 minutes. He played 70 minutes one. He played 90 minutes the other one. Is it wrong? I don't know how they work out how a player's fit enough to play football, because I know for a fact if he had come and there was no international football, Ugarte wouldn't have played 120 whatever the amount of 160 minutes in any form of football if Ten Hag and if he was start again if he was at our club. So I would like to think that he could play.
Well, look, I look back at Anthony. And when he signed, because Anthony he played the next available match, which was against Arsenal. He scored. He then scored in his next two games. Anthony had 3 in 3, amazing. But with Anthony, before he played against Arsenal, he had 1 individual training session and 2 team sessions with the team, and I think that is essentially the bare minimum, because Ugarte has been to England once, I imagine, against Newcastle United away. He's never been to Manchester. He's coming over after a long flight. He might even just be flying straight into London and meeting them at Southampton or something. I think that because we've got so many games coming up, we have to take care of our players, because last season, Martinez and Shaw being out apparently crippled our team all season. We've got loads of games coming up. I would put Martinez and Garnacho on the bench, because I think that they're match fit. Whether they've recovered or not is one thing, but they also know the system. They know set pieces. They know what we're trying. I hope that they know what we're trying to do. Ugarte, bless him, he'll have been sent videos. He'll have watched the games. He'll have had chats with Ten Hag or whoever about what he's meant to be doing. But all of that theoretical knowledge is no substitute for being on the training pitch and actually going through those motions physically. So I don't think it would be a good idea to start him against Southampton. I think he'll come on, but I don't think starting him is a good idea. I think Martinez should be taken out of the team for poor performance, as well as maybe not recovering. And I think that with Garnacho, he's started as a sub in he's come on as a sub in most games, hasn't he?
Most United games?
Yeah.
And he didn't play the second game for Argentina, did he?
No, so I would go with Ahmad and Rashford at the weekend. They're both fit, they're both fresh, they've been preparing for this game. And don't forget, in terms of looking after players, cheers, Bilal. I've actually played Darius Vassell at FIFA many years ago. I've told that story a few times. But with Pep, he hasn't played Rodri, Foden, Walker this season. They've all been given extra time off because of how far they got in the Euros, and I think that we should be looking at that. That obviously this is a pretty big game. Lots of pressure on the team. No one's really happy at the moment. Ten Hag has had 2 separate votes of confidence since we last played. But I think you've got to look after the players for this one. And we should be able to get a win away at Southampton. But I really worry about about players breaking down because of the truncated preseason. So that's why I wouldn't play them. So the only person I'm not playing because of their performance is Martinez. The other ones, it's about fitness and looking after them.
Interesting you say that. You mentioned Ahmad there because Ahmad is been starting games, but he didn't start the last game. He went with Garnacho and Rashford, which suggests to me that he thinks those two are the starting two ahead of Ahmad. Do you want to say this about Ahmad? Obviously, he's had a few years at the club, a couple of seasons on loan, and people were saying he's ready to start, being the first team, the 5th place. So that's what people say from the outside. But on the inside, I get the sense that he's really liked at the club. I saw an interview with Kobe. And Kobe, they're probably mates, but Kobe's said it's the second time I've heard Kobe and other players say this, that he's a great player to have around the club. He's a lot of fun. But Kobe said, he was asked a question, what's going to be the highlight of the season? He said, Ahmad's going to blow. Basically, he's been saying, Ahmad is going to blow up this season. So obviously he's doing things in training that we haven't really seen on the pitch full time, because he hasn't enough game time really to show that. So I'm really excited about Ahmad, and hopefully he gets a start based on the fact that Garnacho is coming back late. That'd be good to see. So this is a great opportunity. What do you think, Mr. B, with the games coming up? It's a great opportunity to see for players to really prove themselves. And I think there's a lot of players who've got a lot of retribution, a lot of hunger, a lot of motivation to do really well. And after what happened against Liverpool, the fans will be demanding the win. And I want to say big up to the guys in the comments as well, who's jumping on as well. But Mark's saying here, he said, good evening, guys. Loving the chat. Also looking forward to an early kickoff at the weekend. A nice win should be on the cards for us. Hopefully, fingers crossed. He's going for a 2-1 win. But it's Southampton. I don't think Southampton are the force. They've obviously got dropped out of the Premier League for the first time in years. They're coming back. I think they're a bit fragile. And I think, they're there for the taking. So I'm quite confident going to this game. And I want to see the hunger and the motivation of the players that want to prove themselves after the defeat against Liverpool.
It's strange. We're playing Southampton. Normally, you would normally expect us to be expecting a real, a real confident performance. But there's doubts in yours to a certain extent, and definitely doubts in yours. Bath time. My issue, my thing that I worry about is our goal scoring. I mean, even if we win, I want to see us create chances. Even if we miss the chances, create 15 chances, create 20 chances in a game where we can see, okay, we were lucky not to have scored 4, or we're lucky not to have scored 5. We're barely creating 5 chances a game, which means that there's a lot of pressure on the forwards that we've got to be really, really clinical. And obviously, but you talking about the early kickoff. We're normally pretty shit at early kickoffs, aren't we?
Yeah. But I mean, when you say we haven't created a lot of chances, I think at home against Fulham, we created a lot. Garnacho missed an open goal, for one, and Bruno missed 2 1v1s with the goalkeeper. We should have won that game by at least 3 or 4 goals, in my opinion. It's the away games that are the issue for Manchester United, I feel. And obviously when you play against Liverpool at home. But what I'm interested in knowing is, do you think that we're going to see any sort of visible changes in the way we play on the pitch? A lot's been made about the position of the fullbacks recently. A lot's been made about Casemiro dropping in to make a back 3. Do you think that we might see, I don't know, more sensible sort of play from the team? Or is Ten Hag just going to play Ten Hag ball?
Well, we've seen Casemiro drop into the back 3 during the build-up a couple of games this year. In the fullback situation, Mazraoui. Maz. Let's call him Maz for my sake. So I've seen him in areas inside, in tight areas, pick up the ball, playing really well, driving with the ball. Haven't seen him doing so much overlapping, that kind of thing. But in tight areas where he's being a bit inverted, he plays really well. I'm being really impressed with him. So I think this is a good signing. He's looking really good. I know he's got a bit of an injury record, but that's someone I'd like to keep fit. And obviously, him and Deligt will be fighting for a place once we get a left-footed left back in that position as well. So the fullbacks definitely can contribute.
No, it's not about the fullbacks though. It's about their position.
Yeah, I'm about to come to that.
Okay, sorry.
This man love to interrupt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me finish my point.
You're going to talk about Angel Gomez.
You know what
again.
they say? You know what the guys say? They always say, "Let me land," like they're pilots or something. Let me land.
No, this is
like got his waving things. Don't. So yeah, Barcelona, let me land, as they say.
All right, come into land. Course is clear. Proceed on heading.
Have you heard people say that, Mr. B? You heard people say that? Let me land. I swore I would never go there, and I don't want to be doing that. Let me land, rubbish. Anyway, yeah, I do think so. What we've seen with Maz is a good player. technically a very good player. So if you want to play inverted, he can play in that position quite easily. And the same as Deligt. Delit's really impressed me. He's not outstanding, but he's a good professional as well. And you see him playing at left back and getting in those positions and driving forward and using the ball really well, crossing with his left foot as well. So the fullbacks have got a lot to play for going forward this season. I think our fullbacks are going to be quite crucial. And because we've got some quality in there now, Luke Shaw to come back in, Maz and Deligt, then I think we're going to be okay. As regards to where they're positioned, on the build-up, they seem to be playing wide and high up the pitch. So obviously if you can get the ball to them, then they can do some damage, clearly, especially with the quality that Maz has. I can see him linking up with our wide right midfield guy and Bruno or Mount, whoever's in the midfield, and Xerxes. So once we get in those areas, then we're going to see the true effect of this wide midfield, wide fullback play. But it's about getting there first and getting through that first phase to get the ball to them. And then we could see something, I think, with those guys there. It's good quality.
So do you think that we will see the fullbacks be used differently against Southampton?
No, I think he's going to stick with what he's got.
No.
Like you said, you've got to work on things. As you said, getting into the groove the other day, you've got to get into the groove and work on these things. Don't just scrap it after one game. You keep persisting with it until you perfect it. That's the way I see it.
But do you not think, obviously, right, you're a defender now, so your natural enemy is a striker on your own team because they're always trying to play too high up the pitch. Mr. B, your natural enemy is your own goalkeeper, I would imagine. My natural enemy on my team is a fullback because they constantly get too high up the pitch, and every footballer should be coming on to the football, who isn't really a striker. You want to be running onto it. What we've seen with Ten Hag's play is because the fullbacks are so high up in the build-up, it gives us less passing options to build up from the back, and that also means that we're much more insecure because we have less men back. And it's a real issue, I think, with Ten Hag's build-up play, is that it requires absolute technicians like Martinez to be on top form in order to get us out. And I think that what I'm hoping to see is that we have a much more conservative build-up phase with the fullbacks far deeper, and maybe even Xerxes dropping in to make a sort of a diamond or a box with Bruno. So that's I'm not talking about the individual quality of the fullbacks. I'm saying I think that there's been a consistent issue with options passing in the first phase of build-up to get us out. And then when we lose the ball, like Casemiro did, we're absolutely done. We've got 4 Scousers flying along like you trying to land this plane. So I've come in, I've hit the runway, touchdown nicely, seats back in their rest position, please. Mr. B, what are you thinking? This is your captain speaking, Mr.
B. I worry about a lot of things, bath time. I do. You lot make such good points. I think this is the most nervous I've been for a long time. Because because I think if he doesn't win the game, I think he's going to be gone.
He has to beat Barnsley.
No, I don't even think it's a Barnsley. Southampton have been getting clapped by everybody bath time. They've been getting, all right, they've lost 3, we've lost 2. I know it's only a 1 game difference, but we should be a lot better team than Southampton. And I'm just worried that unless it doesn't even have to be convincing. I would take an unconvincing win, but that's not how it should be. It should be a 4, a 3, or a 4. Convincing where, it's not saying it's a basketball match. We're going forward, but we're in control of the game. And
All right, I'll give you 2 scenarios. We win 1-0 with a deflected Xerxes goal in the 75th minute, and it's a horrible game, no chances created. Or it's a 1-1. We create 5 or 6 chances.
No, 1-0.
Okay.
I'm not right. I don't care about the performance. Well, I do care about the performance, but
the
results. I want the points. At the end of the day, I'm not saying we're 6 points off the top of the league. That's not our race. But we cannot be dropping off the Villas, the Tottenhams, the Newcastles, the Chelseas so early in the season, because I don't see us. I'm not saying we can't go on a run, but I can't see us going on a run of 6 or 7 league games that we win. Regardless of who we're playing. I would love it to happen in a row. Talk about this is in a row.
It has happened. Like, one thing about Erik ten Hag, I give him credit for, is that at the start of the season, in the first international break, we're crap. And we lose 4-0 at Brentford, etc. We get away with 1 at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers. But when he comes back from international break, he normally makes changes and he normally gets more physical players into the team, and we grind them out a little bit. I think every season he's been here, our form's really improved after the first international break, and he's picked up enough points. So it really wouldn't surprise me if we see a much more pragmatic approach tomorrow with the bigger players in the team.
Pragmatic against bloody Southampton.
Well, I mean, you've got to get the results, innit?
Yeah, I know. I get it. But then we can't spend I can't spend this whole season wanting him to stay and me thinking he's never going to win a bloody game of football. You know what I mean? There has to be a time where it changes where, all right, we're playing this team. Yeah, you expect to win. You expect a good performance. I'm worried. But look, we've got let's get I made a phone call today, obviously, and I've got Solo's team up. Add that to what he's got.
Wow. Oh wow, I like it. Apart from one player, I like it.
Apart from one player and bath time, how do you like this, and how much players are you disagreeing with? Guys in the chat, how much players are you disagreeing with?
I can't swap a Nana, can I?
No, not until we buy another goalie.
Martinez and Ugarte are the 2 that I don't agree with there. And also, I wouldn't mind Rashford out with Garnacho in if Garnacho hasn't played too much international football. But the thing is we've got so many games coming up. I think everyone will agree that this is nearly 100% our first team, for the next 6 weeks.
Well, this is the team that he wants to play for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, everyone would say that's probably our strongest 11 at the moment, with maybe question marks about Ahmad and Garnacho. But that would be our best team.
You were talking. I knew there was something. I knew I should have written it down. You were talking about Ahmad.
Yeah.
I think he's our best player. I think he's our most dangerous player. I think he needs to be starting. I think he should, not to say you burn him out, but he can afford to play 7-8 games, the big games in a row, if he has to play. So I'll be keeping Ahmad. I'll be keeping Ahmad in the team for as long as it takes. I just think that Ten Hag, I don't know, man. I don't know if you trust him.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, well, I think he needs to start trusting him. I think that's the thing with stubborn managers. I think you need to learn to accept that maybe this player or player you didn't fancy is better than the player that you've got in your mind. Because let's be honest, you would rather have Garnacho and Rashford playing. Those would be his two. But Rashford's probably been impressing him for the last 2 weeks when everybody else has been on international duty. I don't know how much other players would have been there, but Rashford would definitely be the most high profile. So he's skipping past Cones, who ain't going to tackle him, and smashing the ball from 60 yards into an empty net. He's probably impressing Ten Hag at the moment. You know what I mean? I think that's out of sight, out of mind. He's been there every day in training. So I think he's more likely to start.
I agree with that. But my point is that if this is our best first 11, we've got to protect it over the next 3 weeks, because I think we've got 7 games in 21 days or something like that. We're playing.
I know it's definitely 5 in 15.
Right. So even if he doesn't trust Ahmad as a first team player, he's got to trust him as a squad member. And he's got to be given his time on the minutes.
But wouldn't you do? Wouldn't you be going in? Not saying going for game importance, but I said this is a must-win game. The Barnsley game, there's no way, unless he proper takes the piss, that Barnsley beat us with the team selection. Unless he proper goes in there,
you nearly lost Coventry, Mr. B.
Do you know what? If that is what it. If that's the performance that he's putting in, then he doesn't deserve to be here by half-time.
Eric?
He's had the benefit of the doubt from the board. There's a lot of people who just aren't having him. This Liverpool game turned the other, however much percentage, another a whole one against him. But I don't think he can afford. I don't believe we've got the play. Even if you play, I'm not saying play Collier. Don't start Collier. But maybe start Collier with, I don't know what he's going to start with. But Barnsley shouldn't be beating us. So my priority would be this first game, which means you get your strongest players out, the ones who you feel are going to win you the game. The Barnsley game will take care of itself. If Garnacho doesn't start this one, fine. Garnacho will start the next game. But I feel that Ahmad should be starting over Garnacho this one.
I agree with that, because Garnacho, with all the travel he's had and so on. But my point, I don't disagree with anything that you've said, because you have to put strongest 11 out for a Premier League game where the pressure is on. But what I'm really worried about is that he's going to do what he's done a lot, which is just put a team out consistently, and it's just going to get them ground down. As much as Casemiro isn't flavour of the month at the moment, he's going to have to start some games. Ugarte's not going to be at the pace for the Premier League yet, and it might take him 3 weeks to get up to that pace. Casemiro, fair enough, he's never been at the pace of the Premier League, but he's a body that's there. So we've got to rotate Casemiro, Collier, Ugarte. I wouldn't mind to see Bruno being given the odd rest, and maybe Eriksen come in, certainly against Barnsley Football Club at the weekend. But he's got to rotate these players. Is my point?
Surely with the guys with the backroom, the new backroom lot.
Mm-hmm.
Surely they'll be telling him that I'm not saying they're going to be telling him. It's weird. But it's not that he's going to listen to them. Oh, you've got to not play this player, But you spoke a lot about Wilcox's input towards the end of last season. Surely the club are going to have an input to say, well, you just can't be playing, him every game. And surely him and himself is going to understand that those players were dead on their arse that come the end of last season. He can't afford to let that happen again. And I know he's wording about, obviously I reckon it was more aimed at Sancho. Don't push up your face if you're not playing. You'll get your opportunity. Just wait. I'm hoping these players are going to get the opportunity to fight for the first team. And it's not just in his head that this is the first team. They play whenever. These substitutions are going to be made on 67.5 minutes and 87.5 minutes or whatever.
That
kind of goes with the flow. Yeah, it did. Yeah, and it happened with Delit, and you know, some subs you can call, you know, because you know he's regimenting it, everything. You get 2 full half hours, you get half hour, you get 20 minutes one game, you get half an hour the next game. You might start, if you don't start that one and you're still a sub, you'll start the game afterwards. So it's still 4 games into it. I mean, he was talking about, you know, he hasn't got a magic wand, he's not Harry Potter to get Ugarte playing. Bielsa didn't give a shit. He put him on a plane and played him. And this is my point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't molly collie these players.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I mean?
Bielsa's got different goals and things,
Yeah, but
isn't
he
it?
has.
He needs.
But at the same time, if he's able to play the games, he's able to play the games. You know, I understand he's not going to understand the formation, and he's not, you know, he might not understand the tactics totally, but it's better than having rice pudding in the middle of the park that people just run straight through and run straight over. Am I lying?
I don't know. Yes and no, because like, look, rice pudding Casemiro had disaster last season, but he was all right the season before. We can all agree on that. It wasn't great, but he was all right. And I think that a lot of that was because there was a different structure was being used. Last season, we tried to get ourselves into the 3-1-6 formation as quickly as we could, and we weren't doing that. Well, it can work, but it doesn't work for us. But the thing is that if we have more players around Casemiro, like if the fullbacks are deeper, if the midfield's more connected, if Xerxes dropping in and our outballs of Rashford, Garnacho, Ahmad out on the wing or something, we might see like Casemiro not thriving, but doing a lot better in those circumstances, which is why I've got to see different stuff from us against Southampton, because with all those games coming up, there is very, very limited time on the training pitch. Like you're not going to be like all the recovery days and all that take away from you getting on the pitch and going through patterns of play and where people need to be. So when we go out against Southampton, I've got to see I want to see a much more conservative style that has more men behind the ball, and you know, maybe it's slower. It's not all out gung ho action, but I don't want that. I don't want that at the moment. I want solid football performances where we win a game by 2 goals. And that's
so when you said, Bart, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So you want a solid football performance. So you proposed a 1-1 draw with lots of chances scored, or a 1-0 win with a deflection or something like that. So which one would you prefer at those 2 options?
probably the 1-1, to be honest. I'll tell you why.
Half time.
I'll tell you why. Because I feel we're treading water at the moment. In the plane analogy, we're just circling. We're going down the drain, because what we want to see from this team, right? And I think everyone will accept this. We're not winning the league this year, and the best we can probably hope for is the Europa League Cup or whatever it is. So what I think that we need to do is we need to address the fact that we haven't scored over 60 goals for 3 seasons now, coming into our 4th season, and we need to see a style of play that is something that we can enjoy and use it as a building block. So for me, I want to see a functional football team that just needs maybe 1 or 2 players to take them onto the next level, as opposed to what we're getting at the moment, which is just basic football principles thrown out of the window, and like leaving Casemiro by himself in the midfield, the crowd booing Marcus Rashford. I don't want any of this. My main goal for this season is to turn us into a team that can consistently score the same type of goal.
Going back to the goals situation, so looking at his team now, I'm just looking at balance. I look at that midfield 3. I'm not sure about Ugarte, but I'm sure he can start. I'm with Mr. B on this because of the way he plays his football in the middle of the park. Experienced guy, played out Portugal. He can stroll through games and then be aggressive, do those little bursts and intercept the ball, read the game really well, stand up. I think he can stroll through games. Like centre backs, you don't really need to sub them. They can play because they're strolling. It's the fullbacks and forwards that do a lot of running. A player like him that sits deep in midfield and just picks up the ball, just dictates things. He can position himself well and be smart about his fitness. So I've got no concerns there. But I'm really excited to see him. If you look at that midfield three, you got Ugarte, gets the ball, intercepts it, plays it simple. Then you got Bruno. You know what he can do. He's got so many assists and he makes things happen. Then you've got a player who's simple, effective like Mainu and does beautiful things really well, keeps the ball well, carries it, links up play, unselfish. Then ahead of them, you've got potent bullets. You've got Ahmad, who's about to blow up. I think he can have a great season, who's like a playmaker. And he links up the ball well. He can cut inside and left foot, get shots off, score goals. Xerxes, we ain't seen the best of him yet. He's going to come and link up the play. And then you've got Rashford as well, who I believe will start to, if it's a game against Southampton, we're going to open them up. I don't know if you saw, I saw a lot of good football. And what I think the ideal of modern football is, what we've seen a lot of the time, is people to pass the ball into there. Link up, 1-2 touch around the box, like we see. I thought England the other day do a lovely one-touch thing where Saka to Rice to squared it, maybe for Kane to score. Am I talking? Is that right?
Grealish.
Well, did Grealish score from a lovely move?
Yeah.
That, and I thought that's how I'd like to see Man United play. We've got the personnel there to do it. So I'm looking for, in the next coming weeks, with so many games coming up, nice work moved, and we showed a little bit of hint at that in the last few weeks, in the last few games, where Ahmad, Bruno, Ugarte, the link-up play, the runner in behind, all these things, I think it's going to click. And that's why I'm saying, BATHTIME, I disagree with you. I think we need to persist with the way the manager's going. The only issue I have, like you said, is getting through the first phase of play and being defensive-minded, have that insurance. But otherwise, in the final third, I think we're going to blow up and we're going to be passing the ball into the nets just by simple tap-ins. I'm looking at like a big result this weekend.
What has shown? Is there any things that you've seen?
Yeah, I've seen one pass. Was it against Fulham in the first game? Nice little one pass link-up play, pass and move, Ahmed cutting inside, looking for tap-ins, sort of cutbacks and tap-ins. I've seen that. I've seen potential of that. And I just think against Southampton, we got to put them to the sword and show it. Because all it takes is one game where everything clicks and everyone decides, get back into that. It's repeating patterns all over and over again. All it takes for us to win a game, blow a team out, and then suddenly the players realize, this is what we have to do. Because you can play 90 minutes. We all play football here. Sometimes you play 90 minutes against a team, and you can't break them down. And then you play a 1-2 touch football, and you open them up easily, and you score a goal. And it's like, how did that happen? And I'd say, someone sidelines or me or Mr. B would usually say, you see how easy it is? Just get back to that. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's all we need. We're very close. We're not that far away from blowing up and clicking. And this is the opportunity to do it against Southampton and Burnley. Let's put them to the sword, get our foot on their necks and play this simple football where we can open them up and then we can carry that forward for the rest of the season.
Who was the player at the heart of that simple football, though, Armando?
Everybody. I think when you look at for Man United or England the other day?
For Man United.
Well, I was thinking, you had Rice for England goal. It's Rice and Saka linking up really well. So for us, I think it could be
no. In the play that you saw, who was the player that was doing that? Because it's not on this.
Just being on the page, I think it's not. I think the players that we have, Xerxes is good at link up. Ahmad is effective like that. Bruno, if he's playing properly and decides to be unselfish and do that, he can do that really well as well. Casemiro, when Bruno had 2 chances, created 2 chances playing.
And the one to Ahmad. He was the guy that gave the ball to Ahmad.
Casemiro was key in that as well. So all these guys have got to be on the page. Not about one individual player. It's about everyone being on the page and clicking like that.
Yeah, but the guy that was kind of like the catalyst in the final third, certainly against Fulham, was Casemiro. And you don't have him on the pitch, but he's the guy that we can say demonstrably this season. Not only did he have 5 shots or something against Fulham and was our best route to goal, he's also the guy that is creating and linking play the best further up the pitch. Now, I'm not a fan of Casemiro by any stretch of the imagination, but with when you talk about all this tippy tapper football and how nice and stuff it is, to be honest, the only time I've ever seen it is when Casemiro is on the pitch, because otherwise it's Bruno banging long balls and us getting in behind. Like,
my point is that they are capable of doing it.
When have you seen it though?
When everything gels. So we got an opportunity against Southampton to get things we do in training over and over again, make it work.
Yeah, but we haven't seen it in 3 games. You said there was 1 pass in the Fulham game. We played 3 games. So
Yeah,
one pass in 90 minutes, and we've done Brighton and Liverpool. Maybe there was more in that game. I'm being a bit facetious, to be fair, but it's not enough. I haven't seen it enough.
Yeah,
you know, you're saying, oh, they're going to be popping off because they've done it in training. There's a lot, as I said, Rashford runs past cones in training. You know what I mean? It's different. You know, you're not going to get tackled in training. You don't have the opposition intensity in training. That's more the part that I'm thinking about. So you're saying pop off. Maybe they can pop it off in training. You know, but when it comes to a real game, that's the part. If they are, it needs to be transferred.
Well, my point is, if they do it, Mr. B, and they score a couple of goals from it, it's just the players will get used to it. Let's keep doing this. This works. And that's sometimes all it takes for things to click, you know, to get that partnership going.
Have you got an example? Have you got an example from the past, OMONDI, with like a Ferguson team or an Atkinson team?
Well, York and Cole, for example. They had
already won the Premier League.
Yeah, but they had 4 strikers that season. York was signed. They had no idea, came into the club and worked up a nice little relationship and partnership with one of his teammates in Cole. You know what I'm saying?
But no, specifically, like Ferguson, I might get the years wrong here, but I think like 1990 we finished 6th, and in 91 we finished 2nd.
Yeah.
Right? So it might be 91, 92.
So 92 we finished 2nd.
Okay, yeah, but we went up 4 places that season. Can you remember a moment where, or a result rather, where that Ferguson team clicked and the belief came?
Yeah. It was actually in the League Cup when we beat Arsenal 6-2, and Lee Sharp scored a hat-trick or something like that, and Danny Wallace was on fire, Ince. And then the following season after that, when we did win the league, we played Norwich in the game, and they were a high-flying. And we were breaking, and they counted it was like 7-8 seconds from the goalkeeper, maybe a throw-in or some throw-out or something from Schmeichel, to raiding up the pitch and breaking and scoring a goal. Very effective. And no one could live with us like that. So that, for me, was a definitive moment of like, look at Kanchelskis, look at Giggs, look at Giggs.
My uncle talks about that game.
Yeah, do you remember that Norwich game?
My uncle always says the Norwich game is the moment everything turned around for Manchester United. And that's what I'm trying to get to, is that it has happened like in the past. But if you can recall, did you see the signs before that game that there were things there? And because I think what you're saying is you see some signs here, but we're going into year 3 with Eric, and I can't remember many like top quality performances, like where I felt we battered that team or they couldn't live with us. I mean, so talk to me. Tell me how to reconcile all of this.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying here is I think it can happen. They're obviously working on things. I think the players have got a lot, like I said earlier, players have got a lot of hunger, a lot of things to prove. And it's just about gelling. And like I said, it just takes one game to get things clicking. And once things click, then we can go forward from there. At the moment, because we haven't demonstrated it, what we're doing on training, transferred it to the pitch, because we come up against harder teams. And like Mr. B said, he can't play against cones or these dummy walls, whatever. You know, it's real deal. So I think we're kind of a new team. Once again, we've got new players in this first team. We've got Ugarte, we've got Xerxes, we've got Dallo coming in, Ahmad. So once they click, these are good players. Once they click and pop, little, like, I've just seen little highlights of it during the first 3 games where we saw, looking good. If it happens and we score goals from that, it's like, and Xerxes gets a tap in, for example, and he says, you see, give me that ball, I'm good at this. And then you understand each other, you get these relationships forming. Then I can see us blowing up and clicking. That's what I'm saying. So this is a good opportunity away at Southampton, who in the comments they were saying earlier, they're looking like relegation fodder. That was the actual wording they used. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity, and we know it. Going there, saying, "Look, we can tear these boys up. This is a good opportunity for us, guys." And the players will be up for it, I believe. You know, there's a lot against us. The manager's been getting stick about his comments about Ronaldo. You know, he's once again get behind the manager, get out there, and when someone scores, run to the manager and give him a hug, and that will just show that we're all united and we don't care about all the pelters. We've got a firmament around the club, and no one can get in and hurt us. You know. That's what needs to happen. Let's give Southampton some licks, play some beautiful football, score some wonderful goals, and then run and hug the manager. That's exactly what would make my weekend come 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Well, hugging managers, running across pitches.
Permanence.
God, on Monday, it's only Southampton away, mate. It's not the Champions League final. But guys, in the chat, let's get some score predictions in. There's 25 of you. 25 of you in here. I know I'm not going to get 25 score predictions, but can we have at least 12? At least half of you get some score predictions in. Is there anything that Southampton should be giving us that we should be worried about?
I don't know a single player.
Fantastic. That's what I like. I love it. That's the answer.
Oh, we do, Ramsdale.
Oh, he's not very good, is he?
Well, he's international level goalkeeper. You know, he's not gonna he's not gonna cause us problems, but he's good at corners, like collecting corners. He might be able to make a save or two. It could be annoying.
As long as he doesn't score. As long as he doesn't score. As long as he I would like him to have an absolute stinker, to be fair.
Well, obviously. I want him crying. Like Monday wants our players running to the manager. I want the manager running on and hugging Ramsdale as he's crying in the corner.
Okay, let me just throw out my prediction before we go. I'm
7-0.
We're away at St. Mary's, and it's a statement. I think we're going to make a big statement. I'm going for a 3-0 away win. Nice clean sheet to keep bath time sweet, and goals to keep Mr. B happy and skinning. If he's, you won't be doing any watch long, I'm sure. But yeah, we want to see Mr. B skinning come Monday, and I think a few goals, 3-0 will be a perfect result. So
and
I'm going for 3-0.
Skinning teeth.
Sorry, smiling. Skinning their teeth.
Sorry, Martha.
It's all right. I was thinking about our audience, to be honest. Some of them have no idea what skinning means.
What's your score prediction, Martha?
2-1 to Manchester United.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with bath time.
No, get your own score.
No, that's the score that I had in my head. One, I'm convinced we're gonna concede, and two, we're not gonna score more than 2 goals in a game. You know what I mean?
It's an own goal.
Yeah, but I'll take the own. Listen, I will take the own goal. I will gladly take the own goal. As I said, I'm more about the points on the table. Barnsley or whoever it is will take care of itself. I want him to go strong. I want him to go as strong as he can for this game.
Do you want Ugarte to start?
Yeah, I want him to start. I don't see the point. Casemiro, we moaned about Casemiro. He got hooked at half-time. We've now got the player to replace Casemiro, but we're not going to play him. What sense does that make? It makes absolutely no sense to me.
If your child gets a new toy, and could you go 2 ways? I'll go with the battery one, but it needs the battery to work. Like, you've got to wait for the battery to charge before you can put it in and use the toy. So with Ugarte, we're waiting for that battery to get charged up so we can get the best out of him.
Yeah, but a half-charged battery is better than a dead one, no?
All right. The toy has got to be prepared, and you've got to glue it together, and you're waiting for the glue to dry.
If you shit glue.
I don't know, beg horse down.
I want him to play. I know.
Yeah.
I said we will differ on that. I just want to see awestruck. My biggest thing is more the Maguire, Delit one. That's the one that I'm not really sure about. I would rather see Delit play because he's who we spent the money on. But I can see Maguire starting this game.
Yeah, I agree. I still would drop Martinez, to be honest,
and play
Maguire and Deligt. I think they're our best centre backs.
Just interesting because a lot of scorelines coming through, and they're all sort of positive results, apart from Solo. Again.
Oh, he spoke to me and depressed me. Yeah.
Solo's become our
negative nanny, man.
United. He's been anti-United agenda.
What are the score predictions?
All right, let's
what
go
the chat
through them.
saying?
So here we go. Andrew's saying 3-1 to Man United, away win. He's happy with that. Away win here from I Am Titanium. 3-0 says the President of the United States. 3-0 says Simon Warner as well. So everyone's expecting us to win. 2-1 says Mark Curran. 2-1 says Will Williams. Welcome, Will. And 2-1 says Big G. And it's only Solo's gone for a negative.
Boo.
Oh, sorry. Another negative.
Boo.
We deserve better. 3-2 to United says Matty. We'll score 3, make defensive subs, and start panicking. There you go.
That's
more.
a shout, actually. That's how we would handle being 3-0 up.
Can I just say, because we do on preview shows, and I've noticed this over the years, even like things are bad, I just want to say this. When we're doing preview shows and we ask the panel for score prediction, we ask the people in the comments for score predictions, there's not many games where people don't think we're going to win. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, we talk it up and we say, yeah, this is the lineup. We see do Solo 11. We could be playing Man City away or Liverpool away or Arsenal away. And we still, be true now, it's very rare that we say we're going to lose.
It's because we're deluded. We're
exactly. We're blinded by the red.
Are we actually crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Why do we do this?
It's
because of hope.
They are. You know what? That's the word. But that is it. It's hope. You know, we didn't expect to beat Man City, but I'm sure none of us in the chat, you know, in the final put down that we were going to lose. I'm sure we all confident that we were going to win. Positive scores. You know what I mean? It's bringing positivity to the channel. You know, if we was all here with Solo, the screen will be black. We'll all be like, you know. So we try and keep it positive. You know, so everybody wants these big scoring games, but it's strange. Nobody's gone for like a 4 or a 5-1.
Yeah,
you know,
where's Vincent?
Yeah, in it with these mad scores. Yeah, I mean, POTUS was the only one. You know, we know Trump's a bit senile already, so you know maybe that's why he's gone free. Oh,
Tyrone.
Ooh, well done, Tyrone. Okay. See, and then when you see 4-0, you think he's bloody mad.
I think the thing that's quite good and consistent with the chat is it's always a low score when we predict a win, though, because we don't score over 60 goals. So it's quite unusual to get 3 in a match. So anyone who's gone for 3, that's a huge score for us.
You know, like that's embarrassing, man.
You know, we don't normally score 2 goals in a game. We normally score 1.4 or something like that. Well, statistically, obviously, you know, Rashford isn't scoring 32.75 a season. But I think that actually the scores are pretty decent based off that, because we don't score goals. Our defence isn't that great. Most people, I think, at the moment would probably say that we're finishing 6th. Like between 4 and 8 is probably where most people would have their spread of us finishing. So
it's not good, is it?
Yeah, we're going to draw games and we're going to lose games and we're not going to score a lot of goals. So OMONDI's mental optimism has infected these people, where everyone is going for 3-0s and 2-0s and so on. So well done, OMONDI. You've done your job.
Yeah. Well, we will see what happens on Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Is everyone able to watch the game?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Is there a watch along?
Mr. B's managing. What we should be doing, what we really should be doing, is doing if we get more funds, guys, just throw some money into the channel. I've got an idea for a show, which would be great.
Oh, let's hear this.
Every week we take cameras around to my Sunday team, Mr. B's Saturday team, and Bath Time's performance on the
No.
and we film. That would be more interesting, wouldn't it? Would you love to see that?
Bath Time would have to play. Bath Time will play with. Bath Time will be playing with that.
Play the mask on. I have to grow my hair and plait it.
He'd have one of those big bubble things over his head.
No, I don't think anyone wants to, that would have to be a separate channel. Yeah, but this is a Manchester United channel.
Oh, get your money in, guys. That's where the funds will go. We won't be going Nando's anymore. Me, Mr. B, and Errol. We'll be going round to follow Saturday football in Wales and in London, and seeing how and also in Birmingham as well. I would love to see Matty Bassett perform as well, because he got a few assists and goals in the pre-season as well. So send us some money, guys. Let's see some donations.
No, stop begging for money.
Beg.
No,
Matty. Here's a question for if you're still in there. Are your games? Do you VO your games? I'm gonna find out if Matty. Do you VO? Oh, there's no point in VOing Bath Times games. He won't have his false head on, will he?
No,
can I make an announcement?
We do on our games as well.
Can I make an announcement officially? I'm feeling confident to say this. I'm on a week's sort of diet to lose weight, and it's part of a group. There's about 100 people in this group, and we all have to put our meals in and do exercise every day and do 10,000 steps and all this kind of thing. Already I've lost weight, and I've lost quite a bit of weight. So you know what? I'm feeling so good at the moment, and I'm carrying a little bit of an injury I've had for months. But I've said to myself today, it's all about positive mental attitude. Because I manage a team, but I don't play because I let the boys play. And even though I'm sitting there thinking, I can do it better than this.
Please,
you know what I'm thinking?
I don't want to do a calendar.
I'm saying this, all right? Just from losing a bit of weight this week and feeling good and feeling the positivity and eating well. I've had 6 eggs today, avocados and fish and all this kind of beautiful food and water. I haven't had any rubbish. I'm predicting, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to be the best centre-back in my league.
Oh, no.
I'm going to go out there, and I've got an attitude again when my attitude used to be when I've got out there, no man is getting past me. No man's going to beat me.
No.
All you hear all game is Zach's ball. Zach's domination, pure domination. I'm in that mode again, and nearly 50 years old, I think I've still got a couple, like, you know when they say in WWE, one more match. I'm saying one more season. I feel great at the moment, and I feel like I could do it. So this Sunday is my first game. If I decide to play, if we do badly and decide to play, I'm going to dominate and prove to all these guys out there that I'm the best. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So, Mr. B, are you making a comeback?
My nickname for you now is Yaba Casemiro, yeah? That's my nickname. I'm not making no comeback. My knees, they don't do it no more. It takes too long. No, I don't need one more match. I've got a squad of 33 players. If I have
33,
if I have to kick a ball, some of them are absolute shit, to be fair. And I've tried to delete them. And if you're watching, guys, apologies, but you're probably not watching. I've tried to delete them out the group, but they said that they want to stay. So, you know, if I don't pick them after 2 months, maybe they'll realize that I was serious when I said I won't be picking them. But look, they're hanging around, innit? But no, I'm my knees. I can't do that no more.
Can I just remind everyone, like, we played a game against Liverpool, COP TV last year, and Mr. B was, I swear to God, you know what? Maybe remind me, because you told this to Del the other day.
The Liverpool channel,
Del's playing at a high level goalkeeper. Mr. B got the ball at sort of left wing, drove, played a 1-2 something, got in the box, left foot shot, bam, corner. Like, and I'm like, what? What? And the way he played it down, you know, like he scored something, like, you're like, oh, he played it like, that was nothing.
It's normal.
You know?
It's normal.
It was a brilliant goal.
It's normal.
Outstanding goal. So, Mr. B, I'm saying one more match, one more season. You've got.
No, I can't do that. I have to walk from. It's not like I work from home, so and I could work from home with bad knees. No. But look, guys, look, man, we've hit our target. We've hit our time limit.
Is
we'll be
there
back
a
tomorrow.
match reaction?
Oh, yeah.
Friday, are we doing a show tomorrow?
Of course we are. Of course we are.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% doing a show tomorrow. And we'll sort out something for so we'll have to have a reaction on Saturday. But look, we don't need to talk about this on here because then they know what we'll talk about it off there. So, anyway, look, guys, lack a notch.
Lack a notch.
A Monday, come on. Lack a notch.
I can't even pronounce Maserati.
Lack a notch.
Lack a notch.
Lack a notch. Right, we've landed.
Done.